I'll try not to eat too many chips on stream. While we wait for a couple more people to get in here, let's go ahead and watch some Sumail versus Arteezy, eh? While we wait for it to fill up a little bit. Yep, it's going to be replay reviews, but we're going to be focusing on calibration matches. So that's more fun. How do you beat Jenkins? Force him to play something like Enigma. Force him to play one of his heroes that he hasn't played in a while. I have not gotten my rank. I've only played 3 calibration matches so far. Been kind of busy. Bash, 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 bash. Got him. I'm 3-0 right now in calibration. But we'll see how it goes. Wow, is he gonna get away? No, he's super dead. How's everybody else's calibrations going? You having fun? Getting good teammates? Are you all stressed out? Hey man, it's a good time to uninstall. Everybody's all depressed because of the compression that happens with matchmaking. I think if I somehow manage to win all 10 of my games, I'll probably end up around like 5.5k. Something like that. If you play awesome and lose, does it matter? I mean, depends. If you enjoy playing the game and playing it well, then not really. Man, look at that damage. Oh, that Chrono with the Undying still there. That was really nice. Oh my gosh. Arteezy. What's the calibration record so far? 3-0 for me. I've played 3 and won 3. Yeah, it'd be miserable if everybody was playing the new heroes in ranked. For sure. mass invisible lineup. I mean, you just have to be very diligent to have dust all the time. Buy an early gem, or just pick like Zeus. Anytime that I see a bunch of invis heroes, I just pick Zeus, and the game is like the easiest game of all time. That's what usually happens, Winks. Every time they recalibrate, the MMR, the metals, like, compress. So, at the very beginning of calibration, Immortal's like 6k almost. And then by the end of the season, Immortal is like 5.4. So... yeah, most people are getting like similar MMR. If you go like 5 and 5, most people are getting fairly similar MMR, but their metal is dropping by like 5 stars or something. Sometimes more, depending on how high you are on the spectrum. Let's see Males build this game. Midas, Mjolnir, BKB. Satanic next. So good against that disable. Anybody that has like a very reliable escape or way to reset the fight, getting status resistance is so good. What's up, Robert? Why would Omni Knight get Bongo Drum instead of an Orb of Venom? I mean, you just say random things every time you come in the stream, so I'm gonna not respond to that. Alright. I think we've got about enough people in here. What do I think about offlane Ramses? I think he's gonna be too greedy at first. But he'll probably figure his place out because he's too good of a player. Hey, thanks, Jamie. Thanks for watching, man. Much love to Singapore. Yeah, ranks have reset. Everybody's in calibration right now. How fast could I get out of Guardian? Probably pretty close to the minimum number of games. About like 6 months ago, I did a little experiment because, I did a little experiment because I wanted to see whether the games at like really low MMR were vastly different than the stuff that I was seeing. And so I played on a 1K account for like 25 or 30 games, something like that. And I lost the first 3. I lost 3 games in a row at 1K MMR, but then I won like 20 in a row. And it was just a matter of me figuring out what I needed to do in those games. Not about it. So, I think I could probably win, like... I want to say 100%, to be honest. I think I could probably win 100% of games at Guardian. Is Maya still worth going? It depends on the hero, but yeah. It's definitely still a good item. What's my secret? I mean, just understanding what needs to be done in the game. And thinking about the game in terms of, like, the jobs that have to be accomplished to win the game. Not thinking about it in terms of, like, individual mechanics, but just the general game state, the global picture of what's going on. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I won those 20 games in a row at Guardian, or 1K. It was like 1K to 1.4K. I would say 70% of them, I ended up with like second or third highest net worth as a position 5 support. Because there's just like an infinite amount of space on the map because nobody was pressuring anything. So I just would push waves and end up with a ton of items because it was just allowed. Nice, Dark Link. Thanks, man. Thanks for listening. I really, really, really enjoy the podcast medium. It's like my favorite way to communicate right now. I listen to so many podcasts, so. Am I excited to see the XTI1 and TI3 champs play again? I mean, it'll be entertaining. It's going to be Midas mode Dota. I actually have no idea what the game's going to look like. It could be really, really weird and different. It might be semi-resembling Dota. I actually don't know. I think it's going to be entertaining. The whole tournament's going to be super entertaining. John. Come on, man. We're in public right now, buddy. Did I calibrate already? No. I've played 3 games so far. Played 3 support games so far, and I won all 3 of them. Oh, that's a dead CM. Alright. Is Sumail gonna carry this game? Looks like it. Good night, Bulba. Looks like this game is just about over. Cool. Let's go ahead and get into the replays. We got about 100 people here. The Phoenix game. You watched the Phoenix game? That game was a fucking nightmare, dude. I was losing my mind the whole time. I played so terrible for like 40 minutes, and then I ended up basically carrying the game with position 5 Phoenix. But for 40 minutes, I was miserable. So miserable. It was like one of the worst games I've ever played. I had to be, man. My Juggernaut was playing like he was... I don't know. He was definitely not playing like a Juggernaut. He was definitely not unstoppable. So somebody had to carry his weight. Alright, let's get into these replays. I don't really remember where we left off. So I think I'm just going to take... Let's see. Last Monday, last Tuesday... Last Sunday. Oh, Jesus, we have a lot. The 12th? What was the 12th? 12th was last Thursday. Okay, so... Alright, let's give it the old college try. We're going to start with Henrik. And because Jenkins is not here, probably going to go a little bit shorter. Try to go a little bit shorter on each one of these because I simply am not going to have nearly as much to say, but let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see. Jenkins is definitely shorter. I mean, that is a guarantee. So this is a Rubick game. It says it was another one of those games where I felt completely stagnated around 15 minutes where nothing could really happen. Then OD got out of hand. What could I have done differently? So let's go ahead and look right at that 15-minute mark. Playing Rubick. Potato sack on the Rubick. Jenkins is tall in Canada. I mean, he's tall in like the Philippines where everybody's like 5'4". No, I'm just kidding. He's like He's like, what, 6 feet tall? Probably something like that. Alright, so let's see what the lane stage looks like. We're playing offlane. We're supporting the offlane. I would just go ahead and pull this. Remember, everybody, the laning stage is all about being able to control the creeps. So when you have a Necrophos who's just constantly shoving the wave in, and you also have a Rubick who also tends to shove the wave in with Fade Bolt, your best option is to just shove the wave in, because that's what's going to happen anyway. And then you can side pull, and you can deny every other wave to the enemy team, while also getting extra experience from the side camp. And that way, you end up with like a level or level and a half advantage by the time it gets to nighttime. And at that point, you can either kill this lane, you can definitely get both bounty runes, and you can probably get a gank on the mid lane as well. So basically, if you control the side camp and you control the creep wave, you're going to be able to win at least 2 lanes just based off of that, because you're going to be stronger than the lane that you're in. And because you're stronger in the lane that you're in, you're also going to be able to be stronger than another lane, because you're going to be able to leave your one hero alone because he won't die, and then you can go add your strength to somewhere else. Anyway, I'm going to guess that you didn't pull enough, so you probably didn't get a big enough lead. I mean, Necrophos is doing fine, but Wraithing looks like he is also doing fine. It tells me that he was not pressured very much at all. Right here, this is something that should never happen. You should never have 2 supports. I say this as a support player. You should never have 2 supports farming the same wave. Every time this happens to me, all I can think is, oh my god, I am being so inefficient right now. What the fuck am I doing? So, don't do this. Definitely don't show both supports all the time. This is really, really bad for the rest of your team, because if the other team sees 2 supports farming a lane in the top lane, they know that every core on the map is vulnerable to being ganked. So this is literally one of the most game-losing things that you can be doing. Got Fire Blast. So, to quote you, it felt like everything stagnated around 15 minutes where nothing would really happen. Okay, well, maybe we should buy a smoke, and we should say, hey, Lion, let's smoke to the mid lane where our Necrophos, who rushed to Dagon, because he's a moron, needs some help to push this tower, because he rushed to Dagon. That's probably what I would say. You guys have an incredibly, incredibly greedy lineup with a Weaver and Slark, who are both going very bizarre item builds. And then you have a Necrophos who went for a Dagon. So you and the Lion need to work together. And you should just sacrifice this tower to try and take mid. And you should try to control this bottom area of the map so that you guys have a jungle, you have another jungle, you have a third jungle, and potentially even this one as well to take and control. Also, let's see. We're going for Aether. We almost have our Aether. We've got a Bassi. We have 0 defensive items on our team. I would probably go for Force Staff after this Aether Lens, which looks like your Lion is going because he's itemizing correctly. Let's see. I mean, here we are. We have 2 supports holding the top lane and a Weaver also holding the top lane. Just kind of sitting up here doing nothing. I'm just sitting around doing nothing. Got 2 wards in our inventory. Let's see how long it takes for you to place these wards. There's 1 ward placed on the river at 17 minutes into the game when we have a tower down here, and you could extend your map control into their jungle. So this ward basically doesn't count. We've got nothing happening. Nobody's defending your mid lane, unfortunately. We just casually let them take a tower You guys are still sitting around the mid lane doing nothing. Pick off Ogre using your most important ultimate. Also lose the Weaver. You guys need to reset. You cannot push this tower right now. Not with a even hero number. You guys rotate into their jungle, find the Dazzle. That's good. This is a good pick off too. You guys should definitely just immediately collapse on this guy and kill him. But your team goes back to farm, so you're just sitting here farming. Let's see, 200 health. 60 damage. I mean, if you're having trouble getting stuff done, to be honest, I would almost just go for the 60 damage and right-click towers. Very situational, but that's just something you can do. This feels incredibly static for being a Rubick. It kind of feels like you're playing a core. We're farming jungle as a 4. Taking a bad fight mid. Alright, I mean, the biggest thing that I've seen is that it's now 24 minutes into the game and you guys have finally placed your first ward across the river. You got one ward here, you got one ward here, and now you have a ward on their rune at 24 minutes into the game. It is incredibly difficult to play Dota 2 if you can't see where the other team is. So I admire your commitment to pushing in this wave to keep people showing here. But when you do have a tower down, it's really important that you get wards like here, or maybe even one here and one here, or one back here, or one up here, or one here, or one here. Like, you have to get wards deep in enemy territory to be able to know where the other team is. And when you know where the other team is, it's very easy to play because you see them. You can anticipate what they're doing and know when a good fight is and when it's not. But yeah, essentially what I've seen is that you've had a lot of wards in your inventory, so I know that maybe you're not playing 5 because you have a Lion who looks like he's, I don't know, can't really tell. I can't tell which one of you is playing 5. Either way, you need to talk to your team because there's been a whole lot of just nothing happening. And this is a very common theme in pubs, a very common theme in Ancient Bracket, where nothing happens and nothing continues to happen until somebody says, hey, let's go do this. And that's how I personally climbed from Ancient to Mid Divine in a very short period of time, is basically just being like, hey team, can we go here? Hey team, let's go mid. Hey team, let's take Roshan. Hey team, let's go top. Hey team, let's take this tower. Hey team, kill the shrines. Hey team, let's go high ground right now. And that's basically all I did from like Ancient 3 until Divine 5. So I highly recommend that you just do that and literally communicate just like that, because people listen to that. They don't listen to it when you're like, please don't pick that hero, and then you should definitely itemize this way, and you should definitely play over here because I need this space here, which is how most people communicate in pubs. Alright, next one. Timber Saw. Whoops, missing a number. I got banned today until 2038. That's unfortunate. Well, it sounds like you deserve to be banned. Apologies. Stop eating on the mic. I'm hungry, son. Alright. Offlane Timber, 1k MMR. I feel like I played well. Well, you won the game pretty easily, so I assume you played better than the other team. I just want some tips and advice for somebody who's at much higher level of gameplay than I am. Well, I do not play Timbersaw at all. But I guess we can watch this very quickly. Let's see, we've got a Timbersaw against a Pudge Lion. Pudge has a ring of regen and one set of tangos. And you have a Silencer who's sitting in the trees. How do I feel about the new matchmaking update? I mean, I think it's great. We do need Jenkins for this replay, but we don't have him. So he's too busy being a semi-professional Dota player. But let's see. So we went reactive first. I don't know if I personally love that. I feel like going Whirling Death is probably better first because you're landing against a Pudge. I don't know. Maybe not, but to me, it seems like you kind of want to have Whirling Death against a Strength hero who's going to be in the creep wave, and they have essentially only magic damage, so your armor doesn't really matter that much. Why don't you tell him that, Ace Pie? I mean, as you can see, you should be absolutely smashing this lane. I think I would tell my Silencer to pull the side lane, because right now you're basically just giving this Pudge a free lane when you don't need to. Like, Pudge should basically never be able to touch the creeps. But because nobody's pulled the side lane, you can't do anything. So I would probably even just go over here, and I would just tango this tree, and I would pull this over and over and over. Because your Silencer's not supporting you. He's just standing there. And if you play this lane, like, in this area, you can literally just kill Pudge every time he goes to the creep wave. Because you have more movement speed than him. He cannot kill you. And he literally can't do anything in this lane if the lane is played up here. But if the lane's played under his tower, then he just gets free levels for no reason. He's not even going Flesh Heap. He has no regen. He has a fucking Boots of Speed and a Ring of Regen. And he has almost as many CS as you. That is a tragedy. Tango this tree. Pull that way. You don't have to tango it. It just makes it a little bit easier. Okay. Also, to be perfectly honest, if you notice that he doesn't have any Flesh Heap, you should just be playing back here. Like, just cut the creep wave. They can't kill you. There's no way that they kill you. You guys are playing this extremely statically. You literally die to a lane that has no business even leaning against you. Yeah, cancel what I said about pulling. You should just be playing here. Once you have level 3, you play here. And you just allow your creeps to just hit the tower constantly. Or if the Pudge wants to tank the creeps under tower, let him. But you just farm over here, and you kill these camps, and you kill these. And then once you're level 6, you just annihilate this lane. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much more there is to say. Like, Silencers died twice, and I would say it's entirely your fault. There we go. Now we're cutting the creep wave finally at level 5. So 2 levels too late probably, which cost your Silencer at least 2 deaths. We do end up taking the tower though. We're continuing to play bottom lane. I was gonna say, I don't really know how I love trying to take this tier 2. I kind of feel like this tower is pretty irrelevant, and so as soon as the tier 1 dies, you should just go mid and take mid tier 1, and then maybe go top and take top tier 1. But this tower, I mean, tier 2s are just kind of like, they're almost a debate because you don't really care if these tier 2s go up unless you're going high ground. But this early in the game, it's like you're not going high ground, so you might as well just take out all of the tier 1s, which restricts the map control of the enemy team by basically like all of the jungle. And that's a huge deal for them. Can you cut the creep wave at level 1? Probably not on Timbersaw. Like, you don't have any way to clear the creeps and also survive at that point. I mean, you're smashing them because you're against 3 strength heroes right now. So this is like a free win no matter what. But yeah, you could definitely be pushing the pace more. I do like that you took another tower. But yeah, you should just immediately go mid. Oh, yeah, mid's dead also. Okay, so 14 minutes in, you've got all 3 tier 1 towers. So at this point, yeah, I think you basically just live. Living up here is probably fine. You just want to live in front of your team, basically. Dying there is not good. This is probably a bit too aggressive. I think I really like Lotus Orb here also instead of Blade Mail. I don't really think Blade Mail does anything. These guys don't really want to be attacking you anyway because you're a Timbersaw, so they want to be as far away from you as possible. And so going for a Blade Mail is kind of just counterproductive because they're going to be running away from you anyway. But if you go for a Lotus Orb, then you can put yourself in danger like that against a Lion, against a Pudge. You can dispel the root from tree. You've got extra armor against the likes of Wind Ranger and the Bristleback. I think Lotus Orb kind of does everything you want in an item. I certainly hope that you don't go pipe next because there's literally no point in going pipe this game. But it looks like you are going to commit to going for a pipe, which I really dislike. I mean, look, where's their magic damage? A level 10 Lion? A Wind Ranger? Rot? I would go for a Lotus Orb and a Bloodstone this game. Not that I play Timbersaw, but that just makes way more sense to me logically. You could also probably even just go for like Lotus Orb Hex. You could go for like a Blink Dagger. You could go for I mean, anything but a pipe. A Yule's, if you want to continue to be defensive. But yeah, this is mostly an itemization problem that I'm seeing as far as why this game was hard to end. Uh-oh. Game coordinator's down. Can I still download replays? This is not a good sign, friends. Not a good sign at all. All right. I'm going to mute Alright, that was delicious. I'm gonna restart the client and maybe we'll connect. That'd be nice. Oh, we've got an update. What was the update? Alright, we're back. Somebody let me know what the update was. Assume it was just some sort of bug hotfix. What did you eat? I'm eating kettle chips. Spicy queso kettle chips. And they're quite delicious. I'm having a cheat day. I've had pizza today. I've had potato chips. I've had a beer. I've had some ice cream. And it's because I felt like shit all day. So I decided to make myself feel like more shit by eating everything that I don't normally eat. I'll probably have some vegetables tomorrow. Where is Jenkins? He's practicing for the ESL qualifiers. Alright, offlane Brewmaster at 3k. Good example of a common problem I seem to have. A decent good laning stage followed by a really weak mid game. I have zero impact. Would love some insight on how to turn small leads into wins. Alright. Again, another hero I don't play. Another hero that I wish Jenkins was here for. Justin Darling. Awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear that. Support. I really, really, really think that support is the most fun role in the game. I think it's like, oh, it's so versatile. You can do so much stuff. Really, really like playing support. We don't use Twitch because the last time we streamed on Twitch, we got like 50 viewers instead of several hundred like we normally get on YouTube. And everybody said, why are you streaming on Twitch? The quality is not nearly as good. So we went back to YouTube like everybody wanted. What's up, Vlad? Alright, Witch Doctor Void. We have a bounty hunter supporting us. I just tell my BH, let's kill this Witch Doctor. Just run at the Witch Doctor right now. You should be able to dominate this lane if there's no Witch Doctor in it. So, focus on trading with the Witch Doctor and not the Void. Also, your bounty hunter needs to pull the lane, or you need to pull the lane because you pushed it in. This is just 3 free range creeps for the Void. Another free wave for the Void. Let's look at the last hits. Got 5 last hits. Void has 9 and 3 denies. A lot of this could be solved by just having the lane pulled back. Like, this is not a lane that you should go even in. You should be smashing this guy. Although, when your bounty hunter leaves, then you just want to be aggro pulling the creeps back. Alright, Witch Doctor pulls. You don't have any support, so you should definitely just be pulling this next wave. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to skip after this laning stage because you said you played the laning stage well, but I don't think you did. You need to be pulling this side camp, either you or the bounty hunter. And since the bounty hunter left, it needs to be you. Just side pull this camp over and over and over and over again, because otherwise you're just going to get harassed out of lane by the witch doctor because you're in a 2v1 and you can't outtrade a 2v1 even as a brewmaster. So I'm just going to assume that you didn't get enough farm early on. Yep, you're lower than the void. You're low net worth. Wow, you're higher net worth than the void. That's actually very surprising. You have bracer treads. I don't know if that's the correct build. I would assume that it's probably not. I would assume that you probably want to go phase boots on this hero. Because that's what everybody goes on offlaners is phase boots. Chasing Void. We're going to burn our ult and take a fight near their tier 3s at 13 minutes into the game. Alright, this is a huge pet peeve that I have with people. This right here. Right here. Boom, 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 boom. Don't get the kill. He time walks. This fight is fucking over. Go to the mid lane. This chase is retarded. This is so pointless. Like even if you get this kill, what does this do? You can't take top. You're already getting mid. Maybe you don't even get mid because now your Storm Spirit feels obligated to come to this fight because you're literally at their tier 3s. So you're probably not even going to get mid tower now. I'm actually just going to watch this mid tower. So you could have had mid tower at 13 minutes into the game. I actually don't care what's going on anywhere else on the map. Reminder, we could have had this mid tower at 13 minutes into the game. Alright. Tower is denied at 20 minutes into the game. So, 7 minutes of wasted time where you could have taken away a huge amount of map control from the other team. Which would have denied them access to all of this jungle. Which would have kept your mid tower alive for probably 6 or 7 minutes. But instead, you lost your mid tower. You lost a bunch of fights on your side of the map as a result. And now this void is owning you. Because you made this weird dive play over here. And didn't take a tower. I legitimately think that that's probably the entire reason that you lost the game. I mean, you've got a anti-mage and you have a Storm Spirit who need as much space as possible. And you gave up the opportunity to give them an entire jungle worth of space. And instead, you lost your entire jungle worth of space. So, I literally think that that is the game right there. I'm sorry for making that one so short, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly why you lost the game. Alright, safe lane, Ember Spirit. Did I see the Game Leap guide on Venomancer? No. I don't really watch anybody else's content. How many replays are we doing today? As many as I can get in the next hour or so. I have to be up to cast at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I'm going to go to bed really early tonight. Crunchy chips. Don't you guys love that sound? I'm casting the We Play Reshuffle Madness group stage with Breaky CPK. Alright, so let's go ahead and read what Vikings fan has to say. Oh, Jesus. Safe lane Ember. So this is a bit of a unique submission. So I've been taking Dota seriously for about 4 months, and I play a good bit of Turbo. I know you might flame me for submitting a Turbo gameplay, but this is part of my predicament. I've never played a ranked game in my life, and I'm hesitant because I don't think I'm skilled enough, and I think it will ruin my enjoyment of the game if I get destroyed. And I play regular sometimes as well, but I learn faster with more Turbo games. Could you assess this game I just played and suggest whether you think it would be possible for me to get into ranked play, aka how hard is it if it's worth putting in the time for me? I chose this gameplay because I thought it showed the potential of my skills well, and I would also love for you guys to flame me with whatever I did wrong so I can learn. Interesting. Okay, so we've never done a Turbo replay before. This should be interesting. First of all, going to lane with no regen in your inventory seems pretty awful, but it is Turbo, so I don't know if it's actually awful or not. But this is certainly not a good item build under any circumstances to ever go to lane, any lane, on any hero. I don't even care if you're playing Turbo or not. This is not a good item build. And here's why. You can buy a Quelling Blade right here. So there's actually no reason to ever buy a Quelling Blade from your home shop because it's right there. And you can get it usually with the first bounty rune. So you're ferrying yourself out as Slippers of Agility instead of bringing yourself some regen. You shove the lane out. You're kind of just willy-nilly shoving the lane out. I mean, you gotta kill a Night Stalker. Do we have any regen? Okay, we have a Bottle Rush because we're playing Turbo, I guess. I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. I know you want me to review this Turbo replay, but I don't know whether it's possible for me to give you good feedback because it is a completely different game of Dota. Like, sure, your skills and everything will feel the same, but Dota is like 90% about being able to take towers and buy the correct items. And it's all about timing stuff, and all of your timings are going to be completely fucked. So if you use a Turbo item build in ranked, you will get murdered. You will get absolutely destroyed because it doesn't work. I do like that you're getting the bounties. I will say I do not like the fact you've played the entire laning stage right next to Night Stalker's tower. Like, this guy's the same level as you because he hasn't been pressured off the wave at all. There's been no pulling done by your support. There has been no wave control at all. Every single time you get your spells up, you immediately use them to push out the creep wave, which gives Night Stalker wave after wave after wave after wave of free creeps and free experience. And the fact that he only has 6 CS is a fucking miracle because he's been gifted 6 straight minutes of creeps. Also, you seem to just kind of be using your skills off of cooldown, which means that you don't have any mana to threaten people with, because they can just kind of clearly see, okay, he's just using mana, and then doesn't have any left. So going back to base to fill up is good. I will say I really would like to see you get out of this lane as quickly as possible, because you're against a Night Stalker who has level 6, and that really destroys you. Night Stalker is extremely good against Ember Spirit in the early and mid game, and you're really good against Arc Warden. So I'd love to see you rotate mid with your awesome gap close and your burst damage and kill this Arc Warden so he doesn't just get complete free farm and take this tower for free. So you do come mid. I would say it's probably a couple minutes too late. You want to come here with your... Who was your mid? Shadow Shaman? Wraith King? I don't know who your mid was. Enchantress? I have no idea who your mid is. I don't think... did you guys even have a mid? How do you have 3 heroes with 9 creep? What's happening? Okay, so you have a mid Enchantress with 4 Fairy Fires and a Crown at level 6. What? What does this guy show up to lane with? He bought more Fairy Fires after the laning stage? Okay, he's got 5 Fairy Fires and a Crown. No regen. What on earth? Damn, look at those Fairy Fires really doing work. We just lost 4 damage worth. And we're still at 60% HP. Anyway, sorry, I know this replay is about you, but yeah, come mid and kill this guy. Well, let's skip ahead a little bit. Alright, I mean, to be honest, I can't really give you more feedback on your itemization because this build is terrible in regular Dota. It's probably fine for Turbo, but it's awful for regular Dota. I would say that having no BKB against a Night Stalker is a huge mistake. Because if he gets on top of you, you just die, and there's nothing you can do about it. Of course, this guy has no items. Somehow, even though this is Turbo. I don't know how he has no items in a Turbo game. But, yeah, if you don't have BKB against a Night Stalker as an Ember Spirit, you can't play the game. What the fuck? Some defensive item is extremely necessary on this hero. Whether it's a Yule's, a BKB, a Lincoln Sphere, a Lotus Orb, like anything, super important. Just going straight damage is not acceptable in any regular Dota game. Also, going for crit before Aghanims doesn't make any sense, I would say. Anyway, I hope I give you some reasonable feedback, but it's just kind of impossible for me to give you feedback on a Turbo game. And to answer your question, play more regular Dota before you go into ranked. That's the only suggestion I can really give you, because I don't really know how your regular Dota is. Alright, position 5, Grimstroke. Match data not found. Oh no. Match data not found. Excuse me. 502 502 3933. All right. I believe you must have sent me a incorrect replay ID because I can't find your game. Sorry, Shiver. So just submit another one next week, and we'll get to it then. All right, 56, 24. Shadow Shaman. Hey man, how do you choose the replays you're going to review? So we go through our Patreons first. We have a Patreon tier on Dota Alchemy, or patreon.com/Dota Alchemy, and you could submit a replay every month for us to review live on stream. And so we go through all of those, and we have a lot of Patreon supporters who are in this tier now. So lots of replays every month, but we guarantee that we will get through at least one of yours every single month. And so that's what we're doing. And then by the end of the stream, if there are no replays left, then we hop into some chat replays as well, because we want to give back to you guys, the community, for watching and being part of Dota Alchemy. All right, Injective, position 5, Shadow Shaman. Took some advice from the review last time, plus had much better start, but enemy just seemed to snowball out of control. That's not very good breakdown of your game, friend. You need to be a little bit more insightful in how you're looking at your games. Saying, I played okay, but the game was hard. I'm seeing 1 Force Staff on your team against a Drow Skywrath Mage. That's probably issue number 1. Let's go ahead and look at it. Hey, thank you. Yes, we just released 3 t-shirts, our first 3 t-shirts. And hope you guys enjoyed them. If you haven't checked them out already, it's our most recent post here on YouTube. We've posted on Twitter as well. But we really do appreciate your support if you want to pick up some Dota Alchemy merch. And yeah, just wanted to give you guys some dope stuff to wear. You know, it's pretty cool merch. What's up, Vukan? I'm doing pretty well, man. How are you? All right. So we've got Shadow Shaman 4 with an Ogre off lane. I think I don't like this build. I think that going boots first on position 4 Shadow Shaman is probably the play. Because if you need more HP, then you just suicide and you come back to lane and you're fine. Also, you have an Ogre who's going to be a big beefy guy in front of you. He does a lot of damage. You don't really need to trade because Ogre's going to do the trading. You just need to make sure that you can set people up and move around the map and maybe trade with other people. And you're against a Luna. And so hypothetically, if you had to think about the lane stage, you're either against a Luna Mirana, you're against a Drow Mirana, a Drow Sky. Regardless, Drow, Sky, Mirana, Luna, all of which are much faster than you, all of which have slows or, you know, dangerous stuff. 287 movement speed is not going to allow you to play this hero very well. You definitely want to be faster than them in the laning stage because you hit harder than them, but you also have much shorter range, and you need to be able to close the gap to actually threaten them. Can the merch be shipped to India? I haven't tested that, but I believe so. Okay, so we're starting top and then coming bottom. I see what's going on. So never mind. The itemization is fine. Forget everything I said. Buying stick early seems good. Go back and pull. Nice. This is good so far. I like this. Don't like trading. I would just completely avoid trading with them. Just continue to pull. Missing this pull here is really bad. I guess you're going to get it here. Nice. Let's see whether they come over to contest. They don't. Okay, so this actually worked out really nicely. I would definitely go over here. Right now, you're going to want to go over here, and you're going to want to stack this. Stack it up like this, because you want to be able to start pulling this camp over and over and over, because this camp is a lot easier for the Tide to contest, especially as he gets more levels. He's going to be able to just run over here and take all the creeps and the camp as well. So against heroes like Tide, against heroes like Bristleback, Timbersaw, you really don't want to axe. You don't want to stack this camp. You don't want to pull to this camp because they're just going to come over here and get double the farm for free. You just want to chain pull this one over and over and over and stack this one. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty tough game for Anti-Mage. I would say you could, I mean, potentially kill this guy. It's pretty rough, but I really think that you kind of just wanted to stack and pull, because I don't think you out-harass this team. And you just want to get Anti-Mage a lead to the point where you can leave him alone, because you want to be leaving this lane. You don't want to be trying to kill Tidehunter. You don't really care about Skywrath Mage. You want to be going mid and killing the Drow as many times as possible in the first 10-15 minutes. Top lane, killing Luna is also good, but Luna is kind of irrelevant because Anti-Mage just farms faster and plays better than Luna. So the only problem that you guys really have is if Drow gets super strong, you can just push down your towers before you guys are ready to fight. So you need to stop this Drow from snowballing. And that means you need to leave this Anti-Mage alone, which means that you need to get a lane advantage by pulling over and over so that Anti-Mage is higher level and cannot die. So that's probably the big issue here, is that you haven't gotten Anti-Mage a big enough lead, which means you're probably not going to rotate enough. Okay, you go Suicide, come back to the lane, miss the bounty runes. That's a really big deal. Don't have a smoke. You don't have any mono regen. You don't have any ability to go to the mid lane. Again, you're killing Skywrath Mage, but now you have no resources, so you're going to go use the Shrine, which I don't love, because you're two supports. Now you're smoking the mid lane. Drow somehow dies. Kill the Drow again. That's a really good play. That's a really good play right there. That's good stuff. Rotating to the top lane. Honestly, I don't even think you go top. I don't think top matters. I really think that you need to focus on this mid lane. You want to kill this Drow, you want to take this mid tower, and then you want to invade the jungle, you want to invade the triangle. Because they have a Luna and they have a Drow, and both heroes want to sit in the jungle for about 15 to 20 minutes. So you need to take this tower so you can access their jungles. And that also means that you need to be a little bit higher level, because you want to be able to drop snakes as soon as possible so you can kill this tower and access their jungles. So I would probably just kind of sit around mid lane, leech a little bit of experience from this guy. He's going to get 2 Midases anyway, so who really cares if you steal a little bit of his experience? He really doesn't matter experience-wise because of that tool. So you can just kind of sit here, Drow comes back to lane, you run up, you kill Drow. And you just keep this lane pressured in. Going top. Well, it's okay. You're, again, kind of gimping everybody because there's 3 heroes here sharing experience. Now there's 3 of you showing, which is definitely not good because it means that Arc Warden is vulnerable. Let's see. You dive, you die. You immediately TP back to the top lane. Alright, you really need to start buying clarities, because you come up to the lane, you throw all your spells once, and then you have no regen. And your hero is completely useless without regen. Die again. Like, literally buy like 3 clarities. Every time you die, just buy 3 clarities in addition to whatever items you're getting. Take a tower, that's good. Smoke. Not entirely sure what the smoke is for because you don't have snakes. You want to time your smokes around snakes because you want to be able to smoke, kill somebody, and then drop your snakes on the tower. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste. But yeah, I think this is a little bit too much rotating between the lanes. I like to see you play a little bit more statically, like where you feel like you can get kills. Because you're kind of the only person on your team that can enable kills right now with your massive amounts of disable. And so you want to be able to set up your Ogre and your Silencer and your Arc Warden for kills. Anti-Mage, of course, just going to do it every once. Die again, top. Love to see you putting some wards down. Got 10 wards in our inventory and we die again. That looks like another one of those examples where you don't need to show, but you did. The bottom tower is kind of irrelevant. Alright, chat. Riddle me this. What is the hesitation? Any of you support players who are under 5k. Any support players under 5k in chat. Why are you so hesitant to place wards across the river? What's scary about crossing the river? That's what I want to know. We've got 3 wards on the river when there's no tier 1 towers. I don't understand. Like, just buy a smoke and walk into their jungle. I don't get it. Buy a smoke and walk into their jungle by yourself. Who cares? Get vision down so you guys can actually advance the game forward. Everybody complains about how you don't have enough impact as a support. I'm gonna play cores because I can't impact games as a support, and then you fucking ward like this. How's your team supposed to play with this kind of warding? Sorry, I'm not trying to flame you, Injective, but come on, man. Look, you killed 3 of their tier 1 towers, but you don't have any more map control than if they had the tier 1 towers, because all of your wards are on your side of the river. This is not good warding at 19 minutes into the game, and it's why you're losing the game as a support. It's not your team's fault because they literally cannot fucking play Dota because they can't see the other team because your wards are on your side of the map. Yeah, this game's gonna get real snowballing now because they're just gonna run at you because you don't have any map control. Game over. Don't be afraid to die as a 5. But just utilize a couple early smokes. Nobody uses them anyway. You might as well use them to place vision so that your team can play. Then where should the wards be planted, dude? Alright. Let's look at... Where's a game that's kind of around that time? 9 minutes in? Sure. This is kind of a stomp. I don't know how good these players are, to be honest. Looks like not very good, because the warding is trash. Alright, let's go to... Let's go to a 23-minute game with EG Crit in his stack. Let's go to free camera. Let's go to fog. Oops, I don't want player perspective. Okay. Oh god. Pause. Oh wait, this is a live game. Never mind, I can't pause. Okay, so we've got Radiant that has a ward here and a ward here. because they need to protect this part of their jungle because they don't have a tier 2 here. So they need these 2 wards to give them some map control in their jungle because they don't have any towers on the bottom side of the map. Dire is playing aggressively. So they have pushed in these towers. And then they want to play around Rosh next. So they have a ward here, which spots any Rosh control. And then they have a ward here, which spots the entrance to Rosh. So they're placing wards around the areas where they want to play next. Let's go to another game. Oh, look, pros warding the river. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. There's a big fucking difference in warding the river when there are no towers up and when there are towers right next to the fucking river. This is all Rosh control stuff. This is Rosh control. This is because they're trying to infiltrate this area to take this tower. These D wards are to catch the wards that probably were here aggressively. I mean, obviously, people are also going to be D-warding as well. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is a Jungle Enigma replay. Jungle Enigma, huh? And it's a win. And we have a Shadow Blade. I guess no BKB is fine this game. You just wait for silence. He grieves. Although maybe it's terrible. Maybe you should have BKB. So you can BKB. I don't know. Anyway, we'll go look at this game, I guess. How do I guess where the enemy put the ward so I don't waste my sentries? Well, the cool thing about sentries is they cover a pretty big area. So usually, I mean, it kind of just comes down to feel. Like, if you know where there's places that people usually ward, you know, watch a lot of games, look at your own replays. Where do you usually ward? And then place sentries that cover that area, but also cover more area. You'd be surprised how often people will place a ward semi close to where you like to place them, but also a little bit different. So if you're looking for a ward on the shrine, try and cover the area that you like to cover, but then also maybe, you know, place it a little bit so the circle of the sentry ward covers some other parts of the jungle, and then just kind of look around there.
Your turn to ban.
Max is calling it. It's in the bag.
All right, so position 4 Jungle Enigma. Decided jungle as the match started. I didn't think it would be able to get much accomplished during the lane stage, and I wanted to get my level 6 as soon as possible. I was counterpicked by Silencer, so I did my best to just not use Black Hole till after the silence went off. Feedback would be appreciated. Again, I wish this was Jenkins. Going top lane to jungle. Did you use... Who did you use the first sacrifice on? Am I a moron? Okay, so you sack the lane. That's fine. Let's look at the other lanes. You've got a Necrophos and a Witch Doctor. So this lane's just going to push no matter what. So sacking there is kind of irrelevant. You've got a Monkey King against a Pudge Axe. Ugh, that's kind of disgusting, actually. You don't really want to sack here either. It's already going to be pushing under your tower. But maybe that's better. Maybe if you just sack the range creep over and over here, then you get the Monkey King to a higher level than the Axe, and then he can just solo this lane because Axe can't kill him. I think maybe that makes more sense. Is just trying to get the experience lead for your Monkey King, because then he's fine solo. Probably. That's probably what I would say. Coming over to trade with the Pudge. Seems fine. This guy chasing you, wasting some time. Definitely don't sacrifice these creeps. Just use it on this one. Also, losing an Eidolon to a small camp is pretty bad. Getting your clarity canceled, pretty bad. Efficiency is, if you are going to jungle, you need to be extremely efficient. And so far I've seen using the courier in the first minute to the jungle really, really, really bad. To bring out one gauntlet of strength and a clarity. Get the fuck out of here, man. What is that? I would report you for sure. That is not good. I guess I should put this on player perspective to see if you're checking the lanes. Hopefully you're checking the lanes. Or we're just gonna fast forward to see what happens. You don't even look at the bounties, so you don't even try to help your team get bounty runes. Don't like that at all. You're extremely focused on your own game. Seems like a very 1v5 mentality, which I fucking hate. You're rushing a Midas when you have a Medusa on your team, and the other team is extremely aggressive. Don't like that either.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, I guess maybe Midas is okay, but not if you're getting run at. You're using all of the wards to just keep your jungle safe for yourself. This is like some real greedy shit right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
10 minutes in. Okay, we're finally moving towards the bounties. That's good. We get 2 bounty runes top. I would definitely just go push this tower right now. Going to the jungle after killing their heroes on their shrine is not good. This tower should be dead. Mid should be dead. One of these towers should be dead. You're in Enigma and you're level 7. You should definitely be pushing towers with your Eidolons. Pick a lane that's stronger than the other team. Any lane, considering that you won all 3 lanes somehow with the jungle Enigma. And just push a tower. Okay, so we move to the bottom lane. This probably could happen like 6 minutes ago. We have our Midas coming out. Still no boots. Rotating to the mid lane. Dropping a black hole on a 5% HP silencer. Not a huge fan of that. Feeding your life for that when you could just be taking the tower for free. May as well get use out of it, you say. Or you could get more use out of it by not using it, I would say. Going for Greaves. Greaves seems fine. Although I kind of would rather you just go for like Helmet Dominator into Greaves and just take their towers. Just so much farming, man. Like, you're in Enigma. Push the lanes! Push the lanes! Stop farming the jungle at 20 minutes into the game. Fuck! You TP into the jungle to farm the jungle. No! Spend more time in the lanes, man. I saw a lot of just AFK jungle farming. I don't love that. It can relieve his stress by doing the jungle. Why don't you go play Farmville then? Or like Harvest Moon or something, man. NF. Position 5, Crystal Maiden again. Posting a loss. It was hard to find one. I'm happy to say since the last replay review, I played nothing about Position 5 CM, and I've earned a cool 75% win rate and about 900 MMR. Holy fuck. How many games have you played? What's this Meepo boosting? I've only been playing Position 5 Crystal Maiden. Secretly boosting on Meepo. No, I'm just kidding. I know that you played a lot of Crystal Maiden. Okay, anyway, this game was a while back, so I don't remember it. I'm usually dynamic with my item build and will consider Force, Glimmer, Blink over BKB, depending on the game, but BKB seemed really good because you're against Zeus. Lack of defensive need for a Force, thanks in advance. Okay. Let's see what we do. Position 5 Crystal Maiden, smoking to get first blood. This is a high level play. This is my play. Juggernaut is a very difficult target to go on. You definitely want to go on the Shaman instead of the Jug, but kind of impossible at that point. Although this guy should definitely die, but your team not paying attention. Although killing the Jug here, that's good. Looks like you're going to stay up for maybe trying to get another kill. It's a little greedy. You don't have any mana. So you end up dying, getting your regen that way. Getting there for the pull. Zeus comes over to contest. Definitely try to go cancel his clarity right now. I would also probably just go ahead and frostbite this big creep because you have frostbite. You might as well get use out of it. It's not great to have frostbite after you get the first blood, but you might as well just kill the big creep so that they can't pull the lane. Because if you kill this big creep and they pull this lane, then they're just gonna send you a double wave, and your Legion commander will be very happy with a double wave under tower. Going for the pull through. It's pretty good. You gotta run a little bit closer to them as they get closer to you, but that happens. Again, I would definitely just frostbite this guy. You want to start leveling Novas as soon as possible, so the faster you get to like level 3, level 4 is good. I think that this looks pretty good. I mean, you get out-traded by Zeus, that's going to happen. At least you got a bounty. This guy's bodying you right now. Unfortunate. Zeus sees you. Also unfortunate. He's just... This fucking Zeus, man. Not a huge fan of that one. At this point is where I destroy my items, because Pledge is a bullshit hero who shouldn't be able to deny himself. I think this is good though. I like playing around mid, enabling your OD. I think this is a good play. I probably wouldn't buy Windlace. I think at 8 minutes in as a Crystal Maiden, it's really important that you have boots because you're so slow otherwise. So I would just save up for boots. I wouldn't buy Windlace, and I wouldn't buy any more wards until I have boots. Because, I mean, this Juggernaut should just kill you. I don't know why this Juggernaut's not just killing you right now. You have no boots, and you're just standing there next to him. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You're Crystal Maiden. If you don't see any setup, I mean, Legion Commander is level 6, so you could potentially help this guy find duels. You could continue to sit mid and help this guy out. But all the while, just Frostbite big creeps. You're a Crystal Maiden. Get some experience. You can't really do anything without boots and without level 6. I think you're over-rotating at this point. Oh my god. That is 3 wards that you've just given to Zeus for free. Just Frostbite the creep, man. You're level 4. It's just a free creep every time you do it. You have so much mana regen. By the time you actually need your mana, it's back. Wait, what are you doing? She's been standing in her jungle for 3 minutes. I mean, another good rotation. You're definitely on the right track. I'm gonna give you that. You're absolutely on the right track. Second point, Frostbite. Do not like that. There's no point. You need to max Nova and you need to max your Arcane Aura. And to be perfectly honest, because of how this game's going, I almost would prefer just maxing Arcane Aura. Although, no, it doesn't scale it well. You definitely max Crystal Nova and then you get Arcane Aura next. I was just thinking to help out your OD, but yeah. 1 point in Frostbite, 4 points in Crystal Nova, 4 points in Arcane Aura. Ult while you can. 12 minutes in, no boots, feels bad, man. Too many sentries are being bought. They don't even have any Invis heroes. You can just buy like half the amount of sentries in the early game, and you have boots by now. Oh my god. There's the boots! Hey, we finally have shoes on our feet. That's good stuff. Nice taunt. I don't really think your Sand King needs help farming this wave, but, you know, whatever. You laughing at me, bitch? Very late TP to the bottom lane. Smoking to get there. Not a huge fan of that. Alright. I'm gonna lay it out for you right now. You've done a bunch of really good stuff, but you're trying to do too much. You're trying to do too much. You're trying to show up for every single fight when you have no farm, you don't have ulti, you don't have any items. You're trying to be too sacrificial. You're trying to show up to every lane. You're trying to gank every lane. dial it back, focus on 1 or 2 lanes, focus on getting a couple extra items, focus on having extra TPs, not buying as many sentries in the first 15 minutes of the game, and really, because here's the thing, map control becomes much more important when the tier 1s are gone. So that's when you really need all of your sentries. You don't need your sentries when there is nowhere to put wards, basically. So once the map widens out and everybody's putting wards in random places all over the jungle, that's when you need to have 2 or 3 sentries to deward places to feel safe. So save up a little bit of gold, invest in your future, don't spend everything on like the first nice car you see, a nice pair of new shoes. Don't spend it on, you know, like an expensive restaurant when you don't have any reserve in your bank account. Manage your money. But like I said, I think a lot of this is pretty good so far. I really like how you just alphaed that fucking Shadow Shaman. Told him to get out of here. That's good stuff. Your team's being nuts. Don't go to that fight. Focus on the bounties. Good stuff. Look at this guy. Oh, are you trying to alpha him again? You are. You dirty Crystal Maiden, you. Tip him! Tip him! Tip him! Come on, man. I'm done with this replay. No, for real. I can tell why you've been winning games. Because a lot of that was good. Which one am I up to? What do you mean? How many games in Calibration have I played? I've played 3. Alright, mid Visage. Great. Googly mooglies, guys. We're closing in on the end of replay review. Only have 5 replays left. We're up to Rommel now. Have I been taking my advice from the video so far? For the most part, I randomly picked Phoenix today. And I had the hardest game I've had in Calibration so far. And it was kind of one of those things where I was just like, I want to play Phoenix this game. There wasn't a whole lot of thought behind it. And we were able to win it, but it was definitely much more difficult than the previous games that I played where I thought about what I was actually picking. Alright, Bassie first. I think that's pretty standard. I don't play any Visage, so I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what your question is. I faced Konko, which is kind of a bad matchup because you can't take the mid tower due to Tidebringer. We both lost our side lanes. My team fed for the entirety of the game. I made 1 successful rotation top, but needed to go back mid to defend the tower. I felt like I couldn't really save both lanes. You shouldn't feel like you have to save both lanes. Nice, Miles. That's what's up, man. That's how we do's it. That's how we do's it. Alright, I'm going to kind of speed through this because, you know, this is Visage's ass in the laning stage. You're basically not a hero until you're level 6. Or you're in a tri-lane, one of those two things pretty much. Here's a question for you. being that you don't feel like you can push the mid tower, is going for Helm of Dominator first good? Or should you go for something like a Medallion early instead? I don't know. I'm sure that having this extra regen is good against Kunkka. I'm just curious. I just want to throw out some ideas because like I said, I haven't played Visage in years, so I do not know. You can take the Helm creep to another lane for sure. But I also kind of feel like because you can't push this mid tower, that you kind of just want to sit in the jungle and farm. You like you just sit in the jungle and farm, or man, I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I think you just tell your Nyx to take mid lane and you go push bot top maybe. If you can't push this Kunkka out of lane, then you should just let your support get a bunch of experience and go push somewhere else where you can. Or you should tell your Nyx to go mid and then you just jungle until you feel like you can go fight another lane. But just sitting in the mid lane getting like half the farm you should and having like a quarter of the impact that you normally would in a good matchup, I feel like it's just completely pointless. Anytime that you can't just crush a lane, you should just give your support the lane and just go get the same amount of farm in the jungle. And then you end up with like 4 cores instead. Helm of the Dominator creep allows us to farm ancients. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Jeez, man. It's not all about the Helm creep. It's about what you're doing. But I do kind of feel like having a Medallion and you can kind of run at the Kunkka. That's what I'm trying to say, is I feel like you could actually run at this Kunkka as if you had a Medallion. Like, why not force him out of lane? If you can. You know, he's going for this double bracer phase Radiance build that every single Kunkka does. He has 5 armor. If you put that at -2 armor with the Medallion, or is it -1 now? Is Medallion -6 now? It is, right? Get the hell out of here. 6 armor. Yeah, so put him at -1 armor. I mean, it seems pretty good to me. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway, and I mean, I'll continue to look at this for a little bit longer, but the biggest takeaway is that if you're playing a hero that relies on being a tempo hero, if you are a Visage, if you are a Queen of Pain, if you are a like a Shadow Fiend, if you are an Ember Spirit, if you are a Kunkka, and you're sitting in the mid lane for like 10 or 15 minutes and you make no plays to taking any towers, you're going to lose the game. You have to move. Dota is all about moving. If you move from this lane to another lane, you force the other team to react to that. And then they move. And that creates an opening for you to go somewhere else and punish them for not having enough resources there. But if you just sit there and you sit there and you sit there and you sit there, then you are basically just flipping a coin and waiting for the other team to punish you for not moving. And like I said, the movement could be as simple as just being like, Nyx, get level 6 and then you can carry us. And I'm going to sit in the jungle and farm. That's completely acceptable. Like right now, your move, well, your move is good because you're leaving. I mean, you're coming back to mid lane, so it's not good. But your move to leave is good, but then you need to get a tower out of it. You're not a hero that defends towers. This hero is trash at defending towers. Make somebody else defend this tower. Gyro has wave clear. Nyx doesn't have wave clear, but he can still, you know, pull creeps off the tower. Darkseer has wave clear. Visage has 1 speed, and it is forward, like Andrew Yang. That is what you want to be doing. And so it's really important that you just move forward on this hero. So, I mean, especially if you're going to go Medallion anyway, I really think the play is just to go Medallion first and just kill the Kunkka and then take his tower. Also, your Nyx basically can't play Dota when there's tier 1s up. So I'm not surprised that you guys couldn't do anything and that your team just fed, because you guys are just playing extremely static on your side of the map, which allows Klinks to do whatever he wants, which allows Tusk to gank, and they have better team fight than you, so you basically can't win this game unless you're ahead, and you're not ahead, so this game's over. Sorry I don't know much more about Visage, but that's just my interpretation of that game. And I just try to play faster, even if it means abandoning your mid lane and giving it to your support. If you're a Crusader, is it good to party queue with Ancients for your Calibration games? Probably not. I don't know. I only play solo queue. Did I calibrate? Nope. I've played 3 games so far, and I won all 3 of them. I probably won't get to calibrate until later this week.
Your turn to ban.
This was in the bag the day Axe was born.
Alright. Lock us some Bodhi.
Prepare for battle.
I assume you're playing TA. You didn't tell me, but you said that you played against a 7k Tinker Smurf, so I assume you're playing mid against the 7k Tinker Smurf. Where's my alchemy shirt? All of them are... Wait, hold on. I might have one that's clean. It's one of those early version ones. Slightly different. There's only 2 of these in existence, and I own both of them. So they were trials.
It is in the bag. It's an open secret. I saw that ending this miles in the bag.
I'm an arc spammer, but I feel weak until 20 minutes in the game, and I don't like it, and it's too late to carry. Don't pick Arc Warden, because that hero doesn't do anything until like 30 minutes into the game. Again, I'm not a mid player, so I don't know this matchup. I would assume that it's probably pretty good for you, because you can just play the Psyblades against Tinker and out-deny him. Which you're doing quite well. Again, not a mid player, but I feel like this is one of those matchups where rushing a bottle is probably really good, because you're just going to be eating a ton of harass anyway, and you're shoving in the lane against the Tinker and forcing him to tank it under his tower, so you're going to be able to get every single rune. And if you have runes, then you can make rotations, or you could even just kill the Tinker if you pick up like a DD or a haste or something like that. So I don't know how I feel about the Wraith Band. Like, you already have a damage advantage. I don't know why you need more damage against the Tinker, who's the main problem that you have is that you can't just run at him under his tower, and he's gonna eventually spam you out of lane. So yeah, I don't think double Wraith Band is good in this matchup, but again, I don't play TA versus Tinker, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Get a kill, pushing the tower. Yeah, I definitely think that you should be trying to invade Tinker's jungle. Like, at the very least, go put a trap, like, right here. Put a trap, like, right here. Put a trap here. Put a trap here. Like, you have free vision against the Tinker, and if you see him ever in the jungle, you just run there and fight him, because you're stronger than him right now. Farming in your jungle passively is really terrible against the Tinker. This is absolutely awful. And again, I mean, I don't... Like I said, I don't really know, but I kind of feel like having a bottle in this matchup is extremely optimal. I can already tell it's going to be one of those games where you took an advantage and then you didn't do anything with it, which is unfortunate. Yeah, 9 minutes in to kill him for the first time was too late. You should just be able to kill Tinker, like, off of cooldown, right? Because you just know where he is. He can't get away once you slow him with traps. Like, the only way he can break your refraction is with March. Right? Don't you just kill him? Going back to your jungle to farm. It's too slow. It's just way too slow. Blink, Deso, BKB. I'm not sure why you have a Dragon Lance, to be honest. This is too slow. Once again, somebody on your team needs to be tempo, and it's gotta be you early on because Axe needs a Blink Dagger, and you're having the best lane on your team. So you need to fuck them up. You have the ability to destroy them, and you're not doing it. If you had a Blink, you kill the Tinker there. The tower should have died at like 8 minutes, I think. Rotating top, playing into Tinker. I mean, it's too late at this point. At this point, you basically just have to farm. Just hard farm. Don't try and fight. You can't fight them until you have BKB. And you're not going to get a BKB until you have Desolator, so just don't even bother. And yeah, I'd really, really, really like to see you utilize these traps more. I mean, you have them here now, but I think you're kind of playing them. You're kind of playing them like a support who doesn't know how to ward across the river, sir. And oh, you survive. Nice. But yeah, I mean, this Tinker just has infinite space. You guys are taking one tower. One tower in 20 minutes. If you die here, the game's over. Alright, there's still a chance. Your PA would love for you to not be in the jungle right now. Would love to have some space. You cannot solo carry this game. You need your PA to have a good game, and he's not having a good game because you're taking all of the farm that's safe. And oh, you're still alive. Well played. Mechanically, you're playing TA very well. Mechanically, you're playing TA very well. But now the game's over. I know in your little summary you blamed your team, but that game was your fault. You were the highest level, the most impactful hero in the entire game on your team, and you didn't do anything. Nothing. You did your best Medusa impression on a Templar Assassin. Alright, Witch Doctor. Ren Monfu says, hey guys, new supporter here on Patreon. Thank you so much, Ren. Welcome to the family. Very much appreciate your support on Patreon. Please be gentle. It's a loss. 1k MMR support. Today was a rough one. I lost about 5 in a row in Calibration. Not sure what I can do differently besides pull or harass, etc. I've heard it all before, but sometimes I feel like the carry at this MMR just doesn't get it. Bad, Ren Manfu. Bad. Come on, buddy. You're better than that. Fan of all you do for the community. Thanks and keep it up. Hey, you keep it up too, man. But don't keep up the blaming your teammates. So first of all, this is too slow to get to the lane. You need to be out here already, scouting who's laning against you and putting a ward on the bottom power rune. So where I like to ward as a support when I'm in the safe lane is here often, because this gives you vision here. Nobody dewards this. You can also ward here. This gives you vision onto their bounty rune. Also here. This is a very good rune. These two spots are basically where I ward every single game. Placing a ward to keep track of the Night Stalker is okay, but I don't really think you need that, especially because he's solo. Okay, so let's go back and watch this first minute, because this is incredibly crucial against a hero that's as weak as a Night Stalker with a solo lane. Okay, so first of all, don't let him just walk up here. I know this is going to sound really weird, because he's got, you know, like 60 damage or whatever. 63 damage. He's got 4 armor. You got 1 armor and 57 damage. But you should be standing right here. You should be standing right here, and you should be hitting him as he walks by you. Don't let this guy just come up to the lane safely. He doesn't have any support. Go stand right here. Like, literally stand here. You saw 3 heroes top. So go stand here and just punch this guy in the face right now. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Maledict him, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. If he trades with you, you kill him. So just, this guy should be at like 200 health right now, and he shouldn't be able to lane. He'll have to use the salve already. Second thing. Right here. You come over, you start harassing him, and you immediately pull the range creep to attack you. So now you're automatically taking a bad trade because you're taking damage for no reason. Number 2, this tower is hitting these creeps because your jug fucked up. And this range creep is not hitting your creeps. So this wave is going to end up in their tower, like 100% now. So this lane is already lost, in my opinion, because this guy shouldn't be able to have access to any of this experience. Okay, so now that this is happening, what do you do? Well, going for these denies is fine. Again, attacking him and pulling these creeps is... I don't know. This is probably okay if you can get these creeps to kill this range creep, but you just sat there and tanked like 5 or 6 hits from the melee creeps, which means that you're just kind of taking damage for no reason, and that's always bad. Also, now that it's 1 minute and 10 seconds into the game, you can salvage this disaster of a first minute by going and pulling this wave. So you need to cycle back around to here, and you need to pull this into here. This is incredibly important, and if this doesn't happen, it's almost not even worth it to watch this replay anymore. So this is obviously too late. You can see, assuming that the creeps are here, when you realize you need to pull it, you can also eat one of these trees, and you can pull this wave like this. And you have to like stand like right about here and let them attack you, and as they attack you, run into the creep wave to get the pull. But giving this Night Stalker 3 free waves of experience is essentially like losing the game. Definitely hard to deny this. Good. Get ready for the pull. A little bit too early. I don't know if you're going to get this one. Nope, not quite. It was a little bit too early. That's okay. At least you denied 2 of the creeps. But you can see this guy is the same level. He's actually higher level than your Juggernaut. So now that you've pulled here, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can either say, hey, Jug, can we try and kill this guy? And then you Maledict, you stun, Maledict, and he spins on the Night Stalker, and you probably can kill him, actually. But you have to make that call because your Juggernaut is not going to do it. So you need to ping him, be like, hey, go on this guy. And if he doesn't listen to you, then you just say, okay, whatever. But now you need to cycle back out of the lane because you're leeching too much experience. And you need to go check this rune because this rune is very important. Even though Sniper is not a rune getter, Monkey King also not really a rune getter. But if you go up and grab this, you have a very good chance to rotate in behind this guy, stun, and kill him. And that can also help to salvage the disaster that is the laning stage so far. Standing around here waiting for this to happen is really not useful. But if you'd run up here, grab the invis, killed the sniper, TP'd back here, and then pulled, that would be a very good sequence of about 30 to 45 seconds. Because then you would have positively impacted both the mid lane and your safe lane. I mean, this is still good, but again, you could have accomplished like 2 or 3 other good things. And to be perfectly honest, I almost prefer this pull with this camp because a full creep wave will just clear this camp anyway. So this actually has a chance of denying these 2 creeps. You're AFK, not a huge fan of that. Knock, knock. Okay, there you go. Go deny this creep. Where is your camera? What are you doing? Are you texting your wife? Oh. Oh, God. Are you checking his profile in the middle of the game, sir? Ren, be honest with me. Did you just tab out of the game and check this Juggernaut's profile? Don't do that, and you'll gain probably 200 or 300 MMR. Alright, we're TPing mid because Monkey King is being dove. But we made this TP without even checking what was going on. So here's the deal. Here's what you do. You see stuff's going down the mid lane right now is when you should be checking. What's going on? Oh my god, what is happening? Okay. So you see Monkey King charging forward. This is what you do. You go, boom. Alright, Monkey King might be in trouble. You TP right here. They start diving. You run up. You stun. You maledict. Monkey King turns around and stuns. Oh wait, he doesn't have stun, but that's fine. Ricky probably still dies there. But it's really important that you check what's going on before you click to TP. TP is the most important resource you have as a support, and if you just use it randomly for no benefit, it can literally lose you the game. You give this guy a tango, that's good. Definitely place a sentry like right here. You definitely want to place a sentry right here so that Ricky can't bother your Monkey King. I really don't like placing it in the river because if they have a sentry on the high ground, then they can just deward this and you have no idea that they have a sentry. But if you place it right here, see, if you place the sentry right here, thank you, Dota, for teaching with me, working with me on this. If you have this right here, and this guy places the sentry here, you just immediately tango this, and he has no idea where your sentry is. The sentry could be over here, could be over here, could be right here, could be over here. He has no idea where your sentry is because this just gets immediately tangoed. Alright, so 5 minutes in, we needed to have made our way over here to grab these bounty runes. We cannot continue to sit mid. And more importantly, we needed to rotate to the bottom lane to grab these bounties and then also just sit behind our Juggernaut because it's 5 minutes in. That means it's nighttime. That means that this Night Stalker is now much stronger than the Juggernaut that we didn't help out very much early on, which means that they're going to dive him. And Witch Doctor is one of the best heroes at stopping dives because of Cask and Maledict. So what you want to do at this point is you want to be sitting behind your most vulnerable hero, your most vulnerable, important hero, I should say, which is Juggernaut. It's definitely not Monkey King. Monkey King is your highest level hero, and he's against a sniper who can't kill him. So you need to go here and just sit in the trees and wait for your Juggernaut to get gone on, come out and get a counter gank, because otherwise this guy's just going to feed. I mean, look at his item build. He doesn't have any points in Healing Ward. He's just dead. Maybe you can't save him from this. That was, I don't know if that was a rescuable scenario. But maybe, because you have a Tango and you got an Enchanted Mango, you could have given him a Tango. You could also start skilling Voodoo. You could even ferry out some salves to give to your Juggernaut. Trust me, sometimes I literally buy 2 or 3 salves and give them to my cores in the lane. That is what you have to do as a position 5 support. Take it from me. You literally have to do that sometimes because your teammates will not read the game correctly, but you will because you're a support player and you have to babysit them. You have to wipe their ass. You have to change their diaper. You have to tie their fucking shoes. You have to pack them lunch. You have to cut off the fucking crust from the bread. You have to put it in the Ziploc bag. You have to give them their SpongeBob lunch bag. You have to give them some fucking candy to trade with the other kids at lunch. You have to give them, you know, their little, make sure that they have their homework. You have to make sure it's not wrinkled. You have to make sure it doesn't have stains on it. You might even have to write a note to the teacher that says that my child can't go to the bathroom by himself because he's too incompetent. Please have a teacher's assistant take him to the restroom and help him undo his pants so that he doesn't shit in his underwear and I have to deal with it afterwards. That is your job as a position 5. So get used to it or change roles. Now, I want to be clear. I think that you are also doing some good stuff. Like, I can see that you are thinking really hard about the game because you're trying to make these rotations. You're trying to be useful. You're trying to put yourself in good spots. But you need to be more active. I would say, honestly, more active with your camera. Look around the map and spend some time gathering resources. Don't just like walk up and press your spells. This is probably the least important job you have as a position 5. Spend a lot of time, you know, walk up here. Let's go back to this for a sec. You walk up here like this. I would literally go AFK on my hero. I would check mid. What does Sniper have? I would check bottom. What does Night Stalker have? What does my Juggernaut have? Then I would come back up here. I'd be like, okay, so there's no supports in this lane or this lane, which means that there might be somebody sitting behind this guy, which means it's kind of hard to go on him. I'd also check my teammates' resources. No mana, very little mana, no Cursed Crown, so we pretty much can't go on this Lifestealer. And having made that determination, because I'm checking what my teammates and what the enemy has, I probably don't run up here and use half of my mana pool to try and go on this Lifestealer when we have a 0% chance of actually pulling this off. And instead, what I would probably do is I would walk over here, I would sit here, check those resources, and then I would pull this camp, and I would pull it into this creep wave. And I would farm this camp, and I would get my level 4, and I would also stay out of vision, and then this creep wave would push up to about here. And with this creep wave here, the Lifestealer might be dumb and walk up and try to farm here. And then you come out of the trees, and you stun him, and then you maledict him, and you guys just right-click him as he tries to run back to the tower, and because he has to walk from here all the way back to the tower instead of here back to the tower, you probably kill him. And that's how you make a successful gank happen, is you set it up by doing a bunch of stuff before the gank for about 30 or 45 seconds, such as checking the map, checking resources, seeing if there's a way that you can position the gank to be more effective by pulling the lane back, pushing it in, smoking, placing a ward, preemptively. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do that's going to make your gank way better than just kind of running up and pressing your buttons on a hero. All right, moving on to the next one. Getting a little tired talking here, boys, but luckily we only have a few left. Gonna try and power through. Undying. Happy Thoughts playing Undying. Right on. See what your item build is. Pretty poor, but not bad. I'm a marathon man. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. As my voice gets more and more out of control. All right. He says, felt pretty lost. I know you don't like it when people aren't specific in their descriptions, but don't really know what to improve on in this game. Maybe what lane I should have roamed more in. Maybe I felt like everybody needed help. Also, probably more warding, less greedy positioning. Anyways, if you hold back criticism, not to sound rude, don't do that on me. If I don't get called boosted at least 2 times, I'm not going to be satisfied. All right. Let's see what your lane is. You got Ancient Apparition and Slark against a Sand King Undying. Love this. That's some good stuff. Pull. Beautiful. Fight the Slark. Nice. This is good. This is definitely good so far. Continue fighting the Slark. Nice double decay. That stuff is super important. Fuck yeah. Fuck this guy up. Oh, too aggressive. Okay. Okay, bud. A little unfortunate that your shit timed out. You lost a stack right before you went for that fight. I probably would have done that too, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's a little unfortunate. Oh, it looks like you turned. You probably could have gotten that decay off, but you turned to use it for whatever reason. Yeah, you turned this way instead of just using it on the Slark. Either way, you died. If that wasn't First Blood, I would be completely fine with that, but considering it was First Blood and it went to the Slark, that is really not ideal. Also, your Sand King somehow got harassed out of the lane and is back in the base for whatever reason. I would also say that you don't really need this Clarity. You probably don't need this Salve. I would honestly just go for 2 sets of Tangos, Stout Shield, a Mango, and like a Sentry Ward or 2, because the way that you win this lane is you give your Sand King a good lane. And your Sand King needs to have sentries in the lane to be able to play Dota. And then you just kind of like shove the wave in and you dive them once you guys have like level 3, level 4. Yeah, so don't go Tombstone until level 4. It's just not good. Go Decay, Soul Rip, Tombstone. And that gives you a bunch of burst damage. And you basically use this Tombstone not for the slow. You use it to break trees, to give vision to people with your little zombies, and to potentially bait them into trying to kill it, or to basically just like, yeah, you just like dump it under the tower, and then you're Sand King and you dive. That's basically what you do. I mean, this is fine. Unfortunately, the Slark can now solo you, which is not fine. But yeah, you can see that Tombstone is like, this spell is fucking useless at level 1. It's so bad. And it's really not even a good spell unless you can make people commit into fighting into it. So you kind of just want to use it to dive towers early on, and then you want to use it like either defensively or aggressively during team fights after that. But in the laning stage, I mean, this spell is trash because you get it once every minute. Less than once every minute. And that's not enough uptime for a hero that wants to be aggressive. Like, man, if you had 2 levels in Soul Rip, this guy just fucking dies. Like, you literally kill him there. That's how much damage that spell does. Yep, if you had Soul Rip, this guy dies. That's literally a difference in this lane. You don't have Soul Rep, you can't kill the Slark. Alright. Your Luna is level 7. This is support Luna? It's not a support Luna. What is happening? Why is this guy level 7? He has 5 deaths? How does this guy have 5 deaths? What the? What? You know what? Fuck everything that I said. Don't lane in the bottom lane. Go up top and just kill them over and over. Fuck the bottom lane. Try lane top. Don't even lane bottom lane. Give your Sand King 2 sentries. Tell him good luck. Go to the top lane and just kill this Tidehunter and this Pudge over and over. What am I talking about? Give your Luna a good game. GG. Alright, next match. All right, we got 3 left. 3 left. Be right back. I'm gonna get some water. All right. The home stretch. And DI says, playing as Rubick support, I felt that my team was doing pretty well during the lane stage, and we did a good job shutting down the opponent's anti-mage early in the game. However, the game dragged out much longer than it should have. Ultimately, we lost the game due to a few poorly coordinated team fights. I suspect that I misjudged what my role mid-game was, and had I focused on enabling the right cores, Sven and Shadow Fiend, rather than Pudge, yeah, it's probably the case, the game would have been much easier to win. However, I had a hard time deciding whether it was more important to help out the Sven and SF or follow Pudge around to shut down Anti-Mage. I also want to learn how to itemize better as Rubick. Looking back, perhaps a Glimmer Cape would have been better. Thank you for the good analysis on your own part. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of as simple as this. Sven, greater than symbol, Anti-Mage in the late game. That's all you really need to know about this matchup. So if your Sven has a good game, you win Dota. If your Sven does not have a good game, you lose Dota. Because this is a game where the teams are relatively evenly matched, which means that it's all about which carry gets off to a better start. And I mean, sure, if you can get your SF to like snowball off the TA, that's also good. But at the end of the day, if your Sven is the strongest hero on the map, you win the game. If the Anti-Mage is the strongest hero on the map, you lose the game. End of story. Also, you guys don't have any instant initiation against Anti-Mage, which is a huge problem. Alright. So we start top with Pudge. That's fine. Come up here. We're going to block the camp. Maybe. Did not block the camp. We allowed Anti-Mage to get both bounty runes. Somehow. Pulling this creep wave. You're just tanking a lot of creep harass for no reason. And you kind of fucked up the equilibrium really badly by pulling there. But I guess this is okay now. You got the lane back where it should be. You cannot trade in this lane. Okay, so here's the thing. You can't win trades in this lane. So the way that you win this lane is to get the equilibrium back to here so your Pudge can just farm under tower, and then you just rotate. So right now it'd be really nice if you could check the rune for your Shadow Fiend. If it's a haste, you can probably just kill the TA. If it's a illusion rune, you can use that to stack the camps for your Sven. If it's an invis, you can probably kill the TA. If it's the double damage, then you can come up here and you can harass the shit out of them. But yeah, you need to control these runes. And to that end, I almost would prefer you to just get boots first, because, I mean, you got a couple of regen things, but the anti-mage just runs up to you and punches you in the face. So you want to be able to just keep your distance, and keep your distance from the dazzle too. So we've got Bassi. I mean, I don't know, man. I know that Bassi's all the rage on 4s, and every single high-level 4 player is like, Bassi's the only item you ever need in laning stage. But I honestly think it's a little bit overkill. I mean, sure, you can get a Bassi. I don't think you need to rush Bassi in this lane. I would definitely get boots. I would definitely get some clarities. I'd probably get a wand. I'd maybe buy a dust, and I would go fucking kill this TA, or ward her camp so she can't farm this. Like, look at this. Just accelerating. You just come put a ward right here, or you block this camp, and then TA suddenly has half the farm she normally has. Yeah, this Dazzle is just outlaning you. He's getting all the pulls off. He's denying you a bunch of experience. You're getting out harassed. 5 minutes in. Luckily, your Pudge went and got both bounties. So he saved you the disaster of not getting any bounties. Now you're denying yourself. What? I mean, I think you just walk back to base. Like, you're already halfway there. This is going to make you take probably the same amount of time as it would be to walk back to base and heal. I don't know. Alright, so what do you do next? We buy boots, we buy a sentry, or we still have our sentry, we pick up a bunch of stuff for Pudge. Pick up some wards, we drop everything back on the ground. We show back up to the top lane with no regen. We don't have any clarities, even though we're constantly out of mana, because we're against an anti-mage. Oh look, we're out of mana again. We've got an obs and a sentry. Again, I really would love to see you pick up a smoke and go harass this Templar Assassin. This is fine, though, to come back up here and kill the anti-mage. But yeah, now, okay, so we're going over here. We're going to block the camp. Kind of late to block this camp at 7 minutes into the game. They're probably not going to be pulling anymore. It's also 7 minutes into the game. You spent 7 minutes in the top lane, and we haven't checked a single rune. We haven't made any rotations. We haven't even looked at the bottom lane. From what I can tell, we haven't stacked a single camp. Do we have a TP from Rubick? We don't, because we don't have any mana. We don't have a TP. So, I mean, plain and simple, the other supports are just outplaying you. And that's okay, because this is a good learning experience. But you can see, like, look at this. They know you have a Sven and a Shadow Fiend. So they put a ward on your shrine. They rotate first. They get a kill on the Shadow Fiend. And then they rotate through and they're going to go pressure your bottom lane. And they've also empowered the Sand King to be stronger than the Sven and the Lion in lane. Because Sand King just solo killed the Sven while your Shadow Fiend died. So their supports are just completely dumpstering you right now because they've enabled their cores to have much better games. Yeah, you're back up in the top lane again. I mean, you answered the question already. You said, should I have enabled the Pudge or the Sven? The answer is Sven. And you're still up here enabling this Pudge. All right. 2 left. Do I think Rubick 5 is viable? I mean, sure. It can work. Alright, Meme Frog. Meme Frog playing Alchemist. Uh-oh. Replay is not viable. Sorry, bud. You're going to have to submit another one because the Alchemist replay is expired, so I cannot watch it. So we're going to move on to Ducky. Luna 5 viable. Probably. You've got good auras. It's probably better as a 3 or a 4, though. Sorry, bud. Thank you for watching, and sorry for taking so long to get to you. You're right, I just kind of missed it. Alright, Ducky. Position 5, Dark Willow. 3.6k MMR. I want to know about my laning phase. I've done everything I could to give Slark as big a lead as I could. Place in vision, went to my team to make pressure in space. I had some misplays, but I want to know if it's just my feel or all the lead we gave him. He just threw into the bin with his item build. Slark's item build. I mean, this doesn't look that bad to me. It's not necessarily 100% optimal, but it doesn't look that bad. Certainly no BKB is kind of a problem, but again, you are against a dual, a chrono, and a Reaper Scythe, so BKB might not be the best item anyway. Hi, bro. Earlier I was Guardian 7. How many games should I win to Calibrate Crusader or above? I have no idea. I don't even know if you can. Probably all 10. If I'm being perfectly honest. From what I've been hearing, everybody has been going down in medals. So, I don't know. What hero are we looking at again? Oh yeah, Dark Willow. Alright, so we've got a Slarky Poo.
30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
We secure a bounty. Seems fine. Trading with Tiny is not good. Don't do that. Unless you can take pot shots at him and not take any damage. Then that's good. You should be pulling. This is bad. You need to pull this first wave. Your Slark cannot lane in this lane. Unless he has an advantage. Alright, so we're stacking. Okay, so I don't hate this, actually. You kind of bully them. Although your Slark feeds. Now your Slark comes... Oh my god. Why is your Slark farming this camp with you? Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. That hurts. Hurts me as a support player. You gotta pull through. You're gonna get bursted here. Oh, you're okay. Nice. Well played. Good mechanics. That was actually really nice. Pull's going well. Kind of just sitting here leeching experience, which I don't like because you know that both of your heroes are gone. So you should use this time to do something useful, like go and maybe help secure this bounty or secure the power rune or go stack. Slark is extremely good at taking stacks, so don't just sit here leeching his experience. Remember, your job as a 5 is to get your child, is to get your 4... your child, your position 1, to be self-sufficient as quickly as possible. You want to raise them correctly. You want to make sure that they have all the tools they need to deal with the harsh world as quickly as possible because, god damn it, you don't want to be stuck in the house fucking wiping their ass and tying their shoes until they're 18. You want to be able to be like, hey, here you go, Johnny. Have the car tonight. Go do whatever you want with your friends. Just make sure that you wrap it up. Don't get you know, pulled over by the police. Don't drink and drive. Only smoke a tiny little bit of weed. Don't drive when you're high. Walk home. Call me if you need anything. But I know that you're self-sufficient because I raised you right. So that's what you want to do. Alright, pulling around this time is slightly suboptimal because it means that your Slark is stuck at his tower, which means that it's pretty hard to get both runes. But it's not the end of the world. It's just a way to optimize the lane a little bit better. But I mean, you killed them twice, so your Slark should be good. At this point, I leave. I don't. You can pull here, but you definitely just leave the lane now. Get out of here. Get out of here. Let your child grow up to be an adult instead of coddling him at this point. You don't need to be here. You should be bottom lane killing the void. Yeah, you're too slow to rotate. Also, stack more. You got a Slark, you've got a Kunkka, and you have a Storm Spirit. There should be stacks in the jungle. Buy the tome. No tome? Somebody buy your tome? Unfortunate. You need to be level 6 right now. Okay, so here's the deal. As a 5, if your team takes the tome and you're not level 6 at level 10, you have permission to not support until you're level 6. You become a core until you're level 6. Because it is absolutely unacceptable for you to not be level 6 by 11 minutes at the very latest. And that's the time it takes for you to buy the tome, fly it out to your carry because it steals a courier 3 times, and then fly it to yourself. And then you're level 6, and then you can team fight. But if you're not level 6, you effectively become a core because you need to take a lane, you need to farm jungle, you need to get to level 6. So this is correct. Level 5. I would go bottom, to be honest, at this point. You need to catch up in experience. Alright, this is still good. Your rotations have actually been really nice this game. Blink Dagger, first item, not a fan as a 5. I think you 100% go Glimmer Cape or Yule's Scepter. One of those 2 items. Also, is anybody building a Spirit Vessel? Does not look like it. You also might want to go Spirit Vessel because it's extremely good against their entire team. So you need to ask your team, hey, is anybody buying Spirit Vessel? And if not, then you go Spirit Vessel as your first item. If they are, then you can go Yule's or you can go Glimmer Cape. Also, I'd love to see you placing some wards so your team can play the game. And also, perhaps setting up preemptively for this shit in the top lane. Alright. So you're mid. Yeah, here's the big issue. You're mid. You don't have a TP and you don't have mana, and you're position 5. That's a big no-no. If you have, once you have become a core, once you have become a core by getting level 6, it is your job to be at every single fight. And you're not at this fight because you're too busy being a core still. You got level 7 in the mid lane. I mean, you're D-pushing, sure, which is good against Jakiro. But you also have all of the team fight for your team. So you need to be at team fights, especially if your team feels like you're stronger than the other team, and you do, because your Slark is murdering them. Your Slark is so powerful right now. You need to be here. You need to be fighting with them, and you're not here, so they're going to lose a fight because you're not doing your job. I think it's really funny that you blamed your Slark for this loss when he basically lost his big start because you didn't show up for a team fight. You're still mid. Alright, there's two ways to defend a tower. One, you can sit here passively doing a job that doesn't belong to you, which is acceptable if nobody else is going to do it. Or you can ping the tower and say, defend this. You can use your mic and say, hey, somebody make sure this Jakiro doesn't push the tower. And then you can go fuck off and do whatever you're supposed to do on a Dark Willow, which is to fight with your team and set them up for kills. But isn't Slark supposed to be self-sufficient? Yes. You're supposed to be fighting with Storm Spirit, Pudge, and Kunkka so that your Slark can be on the opposite side of the map farming. But because Dark Willow is not at the fight, Slark feels obligated to be there because they will lose the fight if he's not there. And they lost the fight anyway because he's actually not even supposed to be fighting right now because he's supposed to be farming and accelerating with the amazing start that Dark Willow got him by playing well for the first 15 minutes of the game. Alright, so you do make the switch to Yules. I like that. It's much better. It's good against Legion. It's good against Necro. It's good against Void. It's good against Tiny. Once again, team fighting without you. Yeah, you're playing too much around your Slark, man. Let him grow up to be an adult. You won him the game in the first 10 minutes of the game, and then you coddled him and fucked over the rest of your team. You can't have favorite children, man. You gotta take care of them all equally. I mean, okay, so if you have one kid who's just obviously gonna be a stud, they're attractive, they're athletic, they're super smart, you know, sure, enable them. Enable them as much as possible. But it doesn't mean that you can just forget about your ugly, buck-toothed, braces, fat kid and just, like, let them eat dirt for the rest of their life. You gotta also take care of them because, you know what? They're your seed. And maybe, just maybe, they're just having an awkward childhood and they'll grow up to be some other stud or a chess champion, or maybe they'll invent the next, like, Tesla version 2 that actually works and doesn't, you know, become a unprofitable company or something. Anyway, I'm tired. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble for 2.5 fucking hours. You guys are champions. Good luck in your calibration matches. I'm out of here. I'm going to be casting the We Play event tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So tune in. I will tweet it out and send it out on Discord, so you guys have to be there. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.